bits that would stick out of there. Like if I wore that, I would literally like be everywhere and it would be a disaster and I'd get arrested if I left the house.
You're listening to You OK Home with Miss Greater Manchester Galaxy. Miss Greater Manchester Galaxy supports the Trussell Trust, the Christie's Charity and Mind Mental Health UK. I'm also sponsored by Bursting Wardrobes, which is a pre-loved clothing store. They're based in Ashton and Marcusfield, and you can also check out their website, which is in the bio.
Hello everybody and welcome back to You OK Home with Miss Greater Manchester Galaxy. My name's Paige and here we are to talk all things mental health, body positivity, self-care and everything in between. Just a disclaimer, I am not a mental health professional, I'm a mental health advocate, which means I look to inspire and help in any way that I can, but like I say, I'm not a professional. So I've got a very exciting guest on the podcast today. So we've got the lovely Elle, so welcome to the podcast.
Hello, you're right.
I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you for having me. It's a
No
pleasure.
problem at all. It's going to be a really interesting episode because we're going to be talking about BPD and kind of like body positivity as well, aren't we? So it's going to be a bit of a mixture of an episode. So if you just want to do a little introduction for yourself.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Elle Seline. I'm based in Surrey. I'm a mental health worker. I'm also a musician and I'm Miss Great Britain Publicity 2021 to 2022. So I competed in 2021. And I'm actually the first ever woman to ever compete in a pageant in 3 rounds with no makeup on. I've stayed true to my word today and I've bared all for you guys. So
you know what? You're absolutely stunning without makeup. Like absolutely stunning. You don't need it at all. So
bless you. But I think
sorry, go on.
I think without trying to be cheesy, I think all women are beautiful in their own way. And I think that's one thing that me and you are fighting for, to showcase that it doesn't matter what, beauty is subjective. Someone might see me and go, ew, or do you know what I mean? Someone might like blonde, someone might, it's all it's subjective. And I think that's what we're sort of fighting for, which I think is brilliant. And it's all around those conversations of being who you are and staying true to yourself, as hard as that is, especially with someone like myself. I've got my own share of mental health issues myself. Yeah. And it's taken me a long time to actually just accept who I am, and I'm still not there 100%. I still have days like we all do where we're kind of like, there's my cat in the background. You know what I mean? So I think these conversations are very important, and that's why I'm so grateful to have this chat with you, because I've, on the back of my title and on the back of what I've done in the pageant world, I want to continue those conversations with as many women as possible and help as many people. A bit like what you're doing, similar sort of thing, really, just trying to get out there and spread the word.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And just while we're on the subject, so we'll talk about the body positivity side of things first. So while we're already on that subject, so what made you want to compete in Miss Great Britain with no makeup?
So, as you know, pageants have got quite a bad stigma in the media. And I thought, what better place to stand here and basically say, all women have a choice to do what they want to do with their bodies. There was a lot going on in the media. I competed the year before, but I kind of didn't, bit of a tag issue. I kind of didn't give them me, like the 100% me, the authentic me. I kind of was trying to, a bit like when I was in school, I was trying to fit in. And I left not feeling like I'd done my best, and I left not feeling like I had given them Elle. Yeah. So I decided to go back the next year, and I thought, what better platform to utilize? A lot of girls who do pageants actually use the platform to promote what their platform and promote what they're trying to say, because as I said, I'm a musician, and to stand on a stage and just say this sort of thing, it might not be heard, but then to go out on a platform where it is quite a controversial platform, it is quite a, what the media is like. They don't particularly understand why girls like us want to do the pageants and why we want to like make a change. So for me, I was like, what better place to say that, and also to showcase that the women that join these systems are actually everyday women, like you and me and lots of different people. There was doctors, nurses, different shapes and sizes, and I was an advocate to showcase that it is changing the way that pageants are. But also for myself, I felt like women should be reminded that they have a choice to do what they want with their bodies. There was a lot going on in the media. I've had my own fair share of difficult times where things that happened to me weren't my choice. And it was also for myself to say, actually, you do have a choice. Okay, sure. You do have a choice to do what you want to do with your body, and no one should take that away from you. We see a lot of things in the news with Texas and a lot of things in the US about abortion, about things like that, which I just think are just ridiculous. And it is around having those conversations. Another reason I wanted to do it was because with my own issues with my mental health, and I had body dysmorphia, I had bulimia when I was a lot younger. I wanted to say to myself actually that what I see on social media, because I think we've all gone down that rabbit hole where we see someone and we're like comparing ourselves to them. And I just thought, you know what, I want to say to myself and to any other person out there who feels the same way, that actually what we see online isn't real. To stand on a platform where a lot of people expect, there's no rules in pageants to say that you have to wear makeup, but it's just kind of the norm. Do you know what I mean? And I think that makeup is an art. I'm not against makeup. I think it's an artistry. Like, I appreciate like what goes into making like someone look, do you know what I mean? I think it's awesome. But what it was around the choices. I'm a woman. I'm going to choose what I want to do with my body, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. And makeup was like the symbol of that choice. And because it was a pageant where people expect us to all look plastic, which we don't, like, we're all real women. Do you know what I mean? I thought, I'm doing this, like, I'm doing everyone a favor showcasing that, because when I sort of decided I was going to do that, somehow, I don't know how, but people found me and it kind of blew up. Like, I was on Steph's Packed Lunch, I was on lots of different shows. And while I was really excited, I was also kind of sad that this was such a big deal. I was like, a woman doing what she wants with her body, all right, okay. And on the back of that, I've joined a campaign through a MP called Luke Evans, and what he's doing is he's trying to advocate for social media and brands to not enhance body images. So when you're using a model, you're not going to like do anything to her body, you're just going to leave her as she is. And I went to Parliament actually a couple of weeks ago now, and met, which was awesome, and met quite a few, thank you, and met quite a few different brands and quite a few different people who were doing similar things to me. And it was all around that talk around body image, disclosing, like, when you're enhancing something, disclose it, because it's an advert. And at the end of the day, social media, unfortunately, Instagram, that's an algorithm. So if you're a young person and you're sort of going down that rabbit hole, which we know, I think a lot of us have done, these young people especially are seeing these images and going, oh my goodness, I want to look like that, when actually the people that are in those images don't even look like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm about 5'5". You could change my height in an instant on one of these apps, and it's so scary. And that's another reason I did it. There were so many interlinking reasons why I went and did that, what I did, because I just felt like someone needed to make a stand, and someone needed to showcase that actually it's okay just to be a bare canvas, because at the end of the day, the beauty industry is so fluid, it's changing all the time. And if, you know, do you know what I mean, without trying to be too cliche, I think a woman should have a choice to do what she wants to do. If she's doing something because she feels like she has to fit in, or she has to, like, I was subject to that. I had to sort of stop and call myself out and go, do I want this for myself? Do I actually want to feel like this? Like, am I happy? I wasn't happy with myself. And actually, funnily enough, I was my happiest at my heaviest. So just, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I completely agree. It's like, there's a beauty standard now, isn't there? Especially now that Instagram is probably like the biggest social media platform. But like you say, because things can get so heavily edited, everybody seems to think that they need to look like all of these people on Instagram. You need to have this like flat belly with no stretch marks. You need to be 5'10", and you know, that's not the beauty norm anymore. And that's exactly what people like me and you are trying to normalize, that, you know, bigger size, smaller size, any single body is beautiful in their own way. So I'm really, really glad that you're promoting it as much as I am.
That's it. And believe it or not, I've got stretch marks on my stomach. And you know, and at one point I was trying to get rid of them. I was like putting any oil you want. And now I'm just like, you know what? These are my, again, sounds kind of cheesy, these are my stripes, these are my battle scars. You know what I mean? Like, my body's been through a lot. Like I said, I was bulimic when I was younger, and there was a lot of weight fluctuation, and I think that's probably where they've come from. And you know what? I'm like, screw it, this is my body, and if you don't like it, turn around and go the other way. Like, I don't care anymore. And you know, obviously, to say I don't care ever would be a lie. Like, I have days where I look in the mirror and I'm like, ew, or I'm like, I have days where I like try and, you know, I want to change everything sometimes, some days. But at the end of the day, I think, you know what, I'm setting an example. I'm out there like you in society, trying to help young people, mainly trying to showcase that it's okay. It's okay to not love yourself all the time, but I think we should learn how to accept ourselves. And that's one of the things I want to advocate for, that my body is not just a body, it's a vessel. Like, it's carried me through so much. It's carried me through trauma. It's carried me through goodness knows what. Eating disorder. Like, I was at one point addicted to drugs and alcohol, and it's survived. It got me through that, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm grateful for it. I look at it and I'm like, you got me through that, body. Like, good for you, you know. Unfortunately, some people don't survive those sort of things, and I was just lucky enough to survive that. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to change the narrative for myself, and while I'm changing the narrative for myself, I'm hoping to help other people, and I'm as open and unapologetic as possible, because I think if I was growing up in this day and age, and even when I was growing up, I was bullied in school, and if I had someone like me saying, you know what, you're good enough as you are, all the things that I'm telling people now, I would have probably had a better time, because I would have been like, oh, this person says it's okay to accept myself. We didn't have that. We're probably quite a similar age. We didn't have that when we were growing up. We just had magazines and newspapers comparing women to each other, and that's what we thought was normal, and it's just not.
It's like when I was like growing up, I look back at pictures and I used to get bullied for being fat. I was not fat. I've always had a little bit of belly because I've got polycystic ovaries. So I've always had that, and I've learned to accept that about myself now. But growing up, I was always called fat because I didn't have the flat belly like what was in the magazines and whatnot. And I look back now and I think, oh my God, like I was not fat then. Like, I'm not fat now, don't get me wrong, but I was definitely not fat back then. And, you know, it's just because I didn't look like everybody else.
That's it. You know, it's similar to you. When I was in school, I'm a little bit darker, a bit like you, and I had quite hairy arms, and you know, like you name it, I had it. And at that point, I did not know what tweezers were or a razor. And you know what? I shouldn't have had to do anything like that. And the kids were, and some of the girls as well, they would call me like gorilla, they'd call me like monkey and all this. And I actually like shaved my arms because I wanted to fit in. And I would put makeup on to try and make myself look lighter, because at the time, people were too afraid to ask about culture and ask about like where I was from and where I came from. And that was kind of sad, because I went to boarding school. So my family were back in Greece, and I went on my own, like with my brother, obviously, but I was basically by myself a lot of the time. And it was tough. And the kids were relentless. Like they obviously had come from families where no one had explained that there are darker people, lighter people, fatter people, skinnier people. And they were literally just relentless. And it was like a high school, like an American high school. Like if you weren't good at sport and if you didn't look a certain way, done. Like, and it was so sad, because actually those people that were doing that were probably more insecure than me. Do you know what I mean? I kind of came, and I've not actually changed the way I am. Like I've always been me, if that makes sense, regardless of what I've been through, even regardless of what age I am. I'm now 32. If I look back at how I was when I was 12, I was probably very similar, like personality wise. I just haven't changed. Like, and I think being bullied, obviously it screwed me up a little bit, but I'm more compassionate and I'm more loving, because I never want anyone else to feel like I did. Like I always make sure that everyone's included. I don't care what you look like. As long as you're a good person, you're cool. If you're not, do you know what I mean? I don't give a flying monkey's ass what someone looks like. And it really annoys me that we're in a society now that's so obsessed with numbers, likes and status, and it almost is quite triggering, I'm sure, for a lot of people. And for me, it just reminds me of how it was in school. Like if you weren't good looking or tall or blonde, it was like, what you know, and it was very difficult. And I'm sure, you know, you can relate, as you said, you know, you had your own share. And you know, I was never like you, I was never like really large or really, really unhealthily large, but I still got bullied because I was bigger. I had like a curvy frame, I had big legs, you know, I was strong as well. So in sports and stuff, actually I was quite good because I was strong. And I actually couldn't be bothered to do sport, because it meant that one, I would be having to do it with those people, and two, I felt really exposed. Because they was always like, oh, you know, there's Elle, you know, because I was bigger, and they were like, oh, like chunky monkey and all this. And I was like, and in my head, that's where I decided actually maybe I should try and control myself. And my eating disorder came from control due to trauma and due to being bullied. So I wanted to access that control that I didn't have, and I wanted to look like everyone else. And in order to do that, I thought maybe if I was skinny or whatever, I would get that, like that acceptance. And it became, you know, from the age of 16 to the age of like maybe 20, it was like constant, relentless. I'm lucky I didn't die, to be honest, because I was very close to that. I was having heart palpitations, having a lot of issues. And going forward from that, I was actually diagnosed with borderline personality disorder when I was 29, so in 2019. And a lot of the things that I went through probably made that happen, if that makes sense. But at the same time, like having that diagnosis really helped me, because I was able to like manage my mental health better. Now I'm in trauma therapy. I'm also in support groups for BPD, and it's actually really helped me understand myself. BPD is like kind of like bipolar, but fast forward it. So so one day I'm like this, happy, and the other days I can't get out of bed. And people always see, I'm sure you agree with this, that on social media a lot of people just see like the happy times and the good times, and like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship, oh I'm engaged, blah. But actually, like all these people, like we're all fighting our own battles. And that was another reason I did the no makeup stance, because it was showcasing that what you see on social media isn't real. Like this is who I am, and and I try really hard, like you, to be real online, like to showcase if I'm struggling, to showcase if I'm not having a good day, because you never know who's looking. There might be somebody, especially young people, who need that guidance, because we're going to be that generation that tells them it's okay to be who they want to be, and no one is telling them that. You know, all the influencers have a duty of care, and this is what I said in Parliament as well, that they have a duty of care to showcase the reality, and they're not. And actually what they're doing is quite damaging for their own benefit. They're making money from these products that probably don't even work. and all these young people are going, oh, I want to look like her, I want to look like her. And you see it, like the makeup that people wear now, like it's all contour, it's all this, it's all that, and it's so different to what we had. Like we had like the old-fashioned highlights, like the really like sad eyeliner that was just chunky. And now if anyone saw us now, they'd be like, what? But you know, I mean, that's what I mean. It's constantly changing. Like as generations go, like people look at how I do my makeup sometimes, they're like, huh? But that was like the norm for us, you know what I mean? And it was constantly changing, and that's the reason why I was like, let's try and my cat. Let's try and
I keep getting distracted by a cat, just keep seeing it walking by.
There he is. Or every time I do a video or like an interview, they are there. One time, one of them jumped on my head once when I was doing something. So we're lucky. Like, they're behaving, believe it or not. Yeah, there you go. Reality. This is reality. But yeah, so I just think it's important that what we're doing, how we're doing it, and the work that you're doing as well to support Mind, the charity. Like I'm 100% behind that.
Thank you.
I work for a mental health charity in Surrey. And again, the same sort of thing. Like there's a lot of people now who are coming through going, actually, I do have issues, and I've not ever been brave enough to admit that. And I think reaching out is so hard. Like even when I'm having a bad day, I sometimes don't reach out. I'm like, oh, I'm scared or whatever. Like I get embarrassed. But actually, what we're doing today is actually we're reaching in, like subconsciously. People are going to go, those people get it. I might reach out to them. Do you know what I mean? And it's all about giving people that opportunity. Instead of saying reach out, because it's not easy, people start reaching in, and we're going to have those conversations and hopefully help somebody. Yeah,
no, I completely agree. And like going back a little bit to what you said about kind of social media, and we only see like the happy side of, you know, what everyone's going through. I kind of took a little bit of a stance against that. And what I now do is, if I'm ever going through a bad time, I will upload that to social media. If I'm crying, I will upload a picture of myself crying to show that everything's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like I was sad the other day for absolutely no reason. You know, when you're just sad.
Yeah.
So I put it on my story that I was sad. And, you know, I got a lot of people messaging me saying, oh, hope you're okay. And I'm like, I'm absolutely fine. Don't worry. I'm just sad. Like, and I just want to showcase to people that we don't have to see all this sunshine and rainbows on social media. Like, because that's not that. I mean, obviously it's normal to be all sunshine and rainbows, but it's not 100% normality, is it?
No. And I think everybody has, like, everyone has physical health, everyone has mental health, and mental health doesn't discriminate. You know, you can be someone who's got a massive penthouse and you've got everything you want, and you can still have depression. And I think that's what people don't understand. And when celebrities come out and say, actually, I've got depression, you see the scrutiny that they get online. And I will say this, and I'm sure you've heard this before, they might not see those comments that people are saying, but your friends and family and someone maybe who's going through the same thing as them will see how you're treating these people. And it's so sad that we're still at this sort of, you know, middle ground where we're definitely better aware, we're definitely in a better place than when we were maybe not young, but we're not there yet, because there's still some people that they ruin it for everyone else, don't they? Like they just decide, oh, I'm going to be a troll and I'm going to comment on this. It's like, you're the one, like, and it just shows that those people are the ones with the insecurities. Those are those, but they still affect, like Love Island. I could go on forever about how much I hate that show, not because of the people, but because of what those young people are going through. Like, 3 people commit suicide that we know of, and other people have come out of there going, that was the worst experience of my life, and no one is intervening, because again, it gets clicks, gets likes, it gets views, and it's almost like what happens on Instagram when someone, I don't know, like a model is posing like with a bikini, and the bikini, like, you know, the pants are like up here, and you're like, that is not realistic. You have been edited to wear that.
We do not walk around the beach like that.
No. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're just thinking, like, how did they fit in there? Like, you know what I mean? The woman anatomy is not like that. And it's almost like that whole Barbie doll effect, that like no one has boobs or anything else. And it's like, no. We have bits that would stick out of there. Like if I wore that, I would literally like be everywhere, and it would be a disaster, and I'd get arrested if I left the house. Like I would get arrested. And the reality is that these people, they've been enhanced. They've been like, nowadays technology is so, like when we were younger, when we were looking at all those glossy magazines, that was bad enough. I remember looking through these magazines and looking at watching music videos when I was a kid, going, oh my God, like they've got flat stomachs. Women have reproductive organs. Like they have a bit, have a bit of a belly because they're protecting their organs, or, they're protecting their child making organs. Like we have like evolved from generations to have that. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I don't think that being curvy is a bad thing. I think actually it's strong, it's powerful, and we've been made to feel like it is a bad thing. And now I think it's great to see different shapes and sizes in different magazines, and plus size models and medium sized models, and still having that more slender build as well, because there are people that do look like that still, that need that, but we've got a spectrum now instead of just one person. I'm not going to look like that if I wear that dress. I want to see what I'm going to look like if I put that dress on. And now there's someone online showing me, and I think it's great seeing all these different advocates of body positivity actually trying on outfits and saying this is what you'll look like. And I'm like, that's what it will do, because a 5'10" model is not going to look, it's not going to look the same.
What my ideal thing would be for the future is if, when we're doing online shopping, when you click on your size, a picture comes up of a model in that size. That would be that's the future. I think it will happen one day. And I just think, so then everybody can see from a size 6 to a size 24, we can see what that outfit looks like on all these different sizes.
And that's it, the average size. Exactly. And the average size for women is not size 8. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like when
it's not.
And everybody is different. You might be like, I'm a size like 10 up here, but then I'm a size 14 because I've got big wide hips. We're not, do you know what I mean? And even how people are forcing people to exercise the same way. If me and you did the same diet or whatever, we would look different in the end of it, because we're different body types, and no one is telling people that actually, no, you're not all going to look the same, because guess what? It's a bit like if you get your hair done, like, when someone goes in the salon and it's like, I want to look like that. It's like, but you won't, because you have black hair and she has blonde hair. And and it's that whole like narrative, just teaching people actually that everyone is unique. We've got, like, if you sound silly, but if you like, our handprints are all unique, right? It's the same with our bodies. We're all unique. We all have different traits. We all have different things that make us beautiful. And that, I think, should be, again, like I've said before in this interview, that should be the thing that's celebrated, not, you've got to look like her, and you've got to look, because it's just, girls are born into this world, and from the age go, we are told that we're always going to be in danger when we walk home. And it's ridiculous. And also that we're competing against each other. Like, that's it. Like, we've been told from from go. And the young people even from the age of like 6, 7 are having these smartphones, and they're seeing, oh my God, look like her, and get this amazing outfit because she wore it. And it's like, no, like, and now I do think there is a lot going on that is helping that, but I just think that big corporate companies, celebrities, and more influencers need to get on board. And you know what, if they start getting on board, we will see that change, because people they like things that are popular. That's just how people are programmed, a lot of them. And if an influencer like Molly May or something comes out and says, look, this is my body, I've got wrinkles, I've got whatever, you might see people going, oh, right, okay, that's cool. Like, and actually it'll be normal to see stretch marks. People get so much scrutiny for like, do you know what I mean, showcasing that. And it's just like, this is just how a normal body looks. Like, it's real, it's a real body. Everyone has stretch marks. Even those models on the TV have cellulite, stretch marks. And without trying to be too graphic, everyone poos at the end of the day.
Oh God, human. we all get the belly blow as well, like when
exactly.
My weight fluctuates. It's natural and it's normal.
Exactly. My weight fluctuates throughout the day, or that time of the month. Like, if it's near the time of the month, I'll be heavier because I've got water retention.
No, completely agree.
You know what I mean? And that's it. And I think people are choosing to seek validation from the wrong things. And I mean, I was one of them. I 100%, like, I was looking for validation from other people. Like, I was wanting other people to validate my existence by telling me I looked good, and, oh, you look like, you look great. And now I'm just like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I wasn't happy because I was constantly seeking for the next best thing. I was constantly chasing something, and now I'm just like,
I used to be the same on social media. I used to be one of them people that if I didn't get a certain amount of likes on a post, I'd delete it, because
you'd check, wouldn't you? And you check who's seen your story, and now I'm just thinking, you know what,
now I just upload anything, and I don't care if I get 2 likes. Like, I upload it for me. I upload it so that I can look back and you know that I upload everything for me now.
Yeah, and that's me. And I think since lockdown, since lockdown, like I think obviously the pandemic was really bad for a lot of people, but for me personally, like it really helped me like ground myself, because before lockdown I was one of those people, I wanted to be famous. Like I wanted to be a famous musician, I wanted to be a famous something, and I was doing things to be famous, not because I wanted to do it. And after lockdown I thought, oh my god, lockdown showed me that me and all those famous people were all equal. Like we all had the same rules, we all had the same issues. And then I thought, you know what, there's a lot of work I need to do. I need to better myself, not for someone else but for me, because I wasn't happy. Like I was constantly chasing the next best thing. I was constantly like, oh, if I post this outfit and I post this, people will like it. And it did come from being bullied in school and being misfitted and outcasted. It still was there, that mentality of I need to be accepted, I need to fight for this, because that's what I knew. And I was repeating the things that the bullies were saying to me, like, oh, you're shit, you know, sorry, I'm not supposed to swear on your front.
No, it's fine, don't worry.
Okay. Oh, you're sorry about that. Oh, you're crap. And I was literally repeating those words to myself, and I believed them. That's the sad thing. I believed what they were saying. And I carried, you know, after school, 15 years later, I carried those things that they were telling me. And then through lockdown, I was like, I really need to do something about this. And I did get help. That's when I got help for my mental health as well, because before I was in and out of the mental health system, but I wasn't like being 100% honest with my counsellors about what was going on, because I didn't really know myself. I was quite young. Like, you know, when you're mid-20s, you still really don't like, do you know what I mean? You're still a bit like, and then when I got to like 29, 30, I was like, I'm not happy. Like I think you are actually younger than me, so
not that much. I'm 26. So, I forgot how old I was then.
Like, you know, when you're in your early 20s and you look when you're in your mid-20s and it's totally different, and you're just like, you know, we are same generation though, aren't we? So we get like we get it. But like for me, everyone matures differently, but for me personally, my maturity came when I was like 29, 30, because I was like, I just don't care anymore. And then when the whole lockdown happened, I turned 30. On my 30th birthday, we were in lockdown basically. And I actually liked it because of all the pressure of like having to show up, glow up and be someone went away. And it, again, like I said, it gave me that time to really focus on myself. Like I'm not 100% there just yet. I've still got a long way to go, but you know what? I'm on the right track. And that's for me the most positive that's come out of that. Like I've taken the positive out of a very negative situation, the pandemic. And I've gone, right, how can I go forward and help myself? But while I'm helping myself and fighting my own demons, I want to help other people who might be going through the same thing as me, or who might be my age when I had no freaking clue what I was doing. And do you know what I mean? Giving someone that guidance, because when I was young, I didn't have that guidance. You know, I didn't have someone telling me, you know, I didn't even have any mental health support back then. And they all thought, the teachers thought I had ADHD, and I didn't. I clearly had BPD. And you don't get diagnosed with that until you're older, because BPD presents, especially in women, as a hormonal issue. So when
that was the same with my bipolar. I didn't get diagnosed with that until I was officially an adult, because they couldn't diagnose me with that as a child because of my hormones.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll appreciate where I'm coming from then with the BPD. I'm very similar to you, but I'm fast forwarded. I'm fast forward bipolar. And I think having these discussions openly about that is really helpful. And you know, fair play to you for struggling with that, because I can appreciate my dad had bipolar. I can appreciate, you know, what you go through day in, day out, and it's very difficult. And you know, I admire what you're doing, and you know, I'm sure you're helping other people as well, you know.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's all good. Like, it's, you know, from one warrior to another, like fair play to you. You know, keep doing what you do.
You too. You know what, and it's so nice to actually speak to somebody who's got, because you seem just as passionate about all of this as I am. And you know, there's some people, don't get me wrong, there's some people that are passionate, but I think people like me and you have literally just got so much fire in our belly about this topic that we just feel like we can take over the world sometimes, don't we, with it?
I think we can, and I think that's it. Like the more people like ourselves, the more what you cheering? It's fine. The more women like us, they're like kids. The more women that like us are like team up together, the more powerful we all become, and the better, the more we can do to help people. And I do believe that. And I think we're showcasing to lots of young people that actually we're not in competition as women. We are doing our own thing, but also helping each other, supporting each other. And I do think when you enter a pageant and you're going in for that reason, to support each other and to have a good time, you have a great time. Like
you have the best time.
You know what I mean? And what does your sash say?
Manchester Galaxy.
Oh, nice. And when's your competition? When is it?
March.
Nice.
So we should have been in November, but they've pushed it back to March now, which I'm actually quite glad about, because I've got more months to prepare.
Right. Amazing. Well, congratulations, and
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck for that.
Are you competing again this year, or?
I don't think so. Like, I think
No.
for me, I did what I needed to do. I went out with a bang, and that was me. Like, I think if I went back into Miss GB, I think people would then, not that I really care, but also for myself, I think people and me would question, why did I do it? And for me, it was never about winning. It was about what I was doing was bigger than, and like what you're doing is bigger than the pageant. Like what I was doing is the same as you. Like, it was bigger than that. It was a wider sort of spread of discussion. And you know what, maybe one day I might do it, because I did have a lot of fun, but right now I'm still riding on that wave of just like,
once you achieve something with it, you kind of go, right, I'm done, but I can put it to bed now, kind of thing.
Put it to bed, yeah. And the year before, like I said, I knew I needed to do it again, because I hadn't given them some, and I hadn't come away fulfilled. And there's a lot of people that I've met through the pageant world who are really nice people, do you know what I mean? And I've made some really good friends, because we all have very similar mindsets. We're all doing similar things. We all have similar issues, and we've all come from similar things. And I think that's what the media really needs to learn about, because they just think we're all a bunch of airheads, just like, oh, look at me. And one of the questions I always had was, but you're going into a pageant to be judged. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not why I'm doing it. And I was just sat there like knocking my head against the wall, like, oh.
So just got one last question for you, because we are running out of time. What would be your one piece of advice to anybody who is struggling with the topics that we spoke about now? So we're struggling with kind of their own body image, with BPD, just your one piece of advice around all of that.
Don't give up. Seek help if you can. Educate yourself, educate those people around you, because what we go through every day with BPD is very difficult. Lots of people, like with bipolar, lots of people don't understand our language. It's like we're speaking a different language a lot of the time, and it's frustrating because our loved ones don't get it sometimes, and that's fine. Educate, get help if you can, but also don't give up. As cliche as that sounds, like, I thought when I was in school that was it, that was the end of the world, that was it. And actually it wasn't, it was the start. And your journey is your journey. Like, don't compare yourself. This is what I used to do. I compared my journey to other people, and I was wasting so much time. Your journey is your journey, and your path, I'm going to sound like the Dalai Lama now. Your path is yours, and you trust that path and go down that path. And like I said, if you need help, reach out to those services, reach out to people, because at the end of the day, you are valid, and your feelings are valid. And anyone with a mental health condition, I salute you for getting up every day and just getting through one day, even if you've just had a shower. That's an amazing achievement, you know? So keep doing what you do. Again, if you need to reach out to services, please do. And yeah, just, it's not the end, it is the beginning, and you are worthy of that support, and you're worthy, and your emotions are worthy as well, and they're valid. You're in survival mode, you know, understand that you're in survival mode if you feel crap, or if you feel like you're having a bad time, and question yourself, ask yourself those questions, educate people, and just, like, without trying to be cheesy again, life is beautiful. And I had to figure that out the hard way. Like, I've had my own issues with suicide attempts and issues like that, and I'm just grateful that I'm still here. And yeah, just life is great if, you know, and just get the right people in your life. Like, I had so many assholes in my life at the time, and they were just making it worse. You know, do what's best for your mental health, whatever that might look like. Access the support, and you are worth that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You've been absolutely amazing.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
You can listen to this podcast through Apple. I'm hoping Apple by the time I upload this, Spotify and YouTube, and tune in every single week for an episode on a Tuesday. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.